Hello, my name is Lincoln and welcome to my channel. This is Two Peas in a Book. Book club, yeah?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. And today we are discussing Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I picked this book for our wedding anniversary celebration because it's our anniversary. And
today, while we're recording it.
Yeah, while we're filming this.
2 years. 2 peas in a pod. 0 children.
Happy about that
Doing
one.
good.
But, yeah. So, it may not have been the best romance book to read.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
It was good. It was alright.
Yeah. So, we discussed that, and we try not to cry while discussing each other's deaths.
Yeah. It's a doozy. It's a party.
So, yeah. Let's go ahead and, I guess, get into it.
Get her done. Scoot and toot. Scoot the boot.
Before we get into this, what are you currently reading?
I am currently reading Uglies by someone I don't know.
Scott Westerfield.
Scott Westerfield. And I am loving it. I'm about halfway through. And it's giving off, it makes me feel like I'm 14 again. Mm-hmm. Because when I was 14, I was reading Hunger Games and The Giver and Divergent. And there was another one that made me think of it. I don't know, just not necessarily post-apocalyptic, but
Dystopian.
Dystopian. There you go. Thank you so much. And I don't want to give any spoilers or anything, but it's Uglies is.
Well, I mean, it came out in 2006.
Oh,
so
I've never heard of it. It's a world. It's a futuristic world where they've created this process where you can look young at all times. So between the age when you're born and you're 12, you're a youngie. Littly. It ends in IE. It's
it's a littly.
Littly. And then when you turn 12, you become an ugly until you're 16. And at 16, you are required to get this procedure done where they make you beautiful. They alter your appearance to something that looks like you, but you're perfect. And the idea is that if everyone is beautiful and everyone looks alike, then there will be no discrimination. And everyone will be treated the same. And it mentioned skin color. It mentioned that it was so weird to them that in the past people were killed because of their skin color. Yeah. But also,
I think they're all the same, skin tone.
Which makes you wonder how that happened. Genetic engineering? Or genocide? Or what? I'm not sure. But anyways, it's very interesting, very cool. Love the feeling, the dystopian feeling from back in 2000 and young.
It was whenever it came out. I think 12. It was one of the first books that came out during the whole dystopian craze.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It feels like it too. It feels like not copying anybody, but just a nice, interesting dystopian story. So, loving it.
Good.
Lakin told me to read it yesterday, and I started reading it. So, it's good.
Good.
What are you reading?
I'm reading The Time Traveler's Wife by Audrey Niffinger. I don't know the last name, but yeah. So, did you ever watch the movie The Time Traveler's Wife?
No. Doesn't he show up naked a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He time travels.
That's all I remember.
He time travels through his own life, and it's whenever he's in a lot of stress, that's when his body goes somewhere else, and he can't take anything with him, so he can't take clothes with him, so he just pops up in different places naked, and it's it's jumping between different times and different ages with him, and we're following him meeting his wife whenever she meets him for the first time when she's 6 years old, and he meets her for the first time when she is 20 something.
That doesn't make sense.
So, like,
if he meets her for the first time when she's 6.
Yeah.
And then you just said that she meets him.
Yeah, because whenever she's 6, he's, like, in his 30s and 40s.
Is it one of the do they travel in different directions? So as she gets older, he gets younger in, like, the time? Okay, I know that's the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
No, it's just, like, he doesn't start going to meet her till he's, like, already married to her and, like, in the 40s and stuff like that.
Got it.
But so when they meet, he's like, when he meets her for the first time, he's the youngest she's ever seen him.
Got it.
And so, like, but she's already known about him because she grew up with him.
Weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense, but, like, it's like one of those, like, time travel-y, like, timey-wimey type of things.
That's super weird. Okay.
Yeah. But it's really good.
So a naked man goes and meets his 6-year-olds.
Who he says he's going to marry. Yeah.
Was he naked when he said he was going to marry her?
He doesn't... She's like 13 when she finds out that they get married. But...
Still messed up.
Yeah, no. It has, like... Especially in the early stages, whenever, like, she is young, it's really kind of icky.
Because he knows he's going to marry her.
Yeah, but I guess it's okay because, one, he doesn't let anything happen when she's under 18.
Obviously.
But, like, the first time he met her wasn't when she was young. She was, like, they're only 8 years apart. Or 6 years, I don't know. They're not that far apart, so when they're, like, consenting adults, it's not icky. But, and so he meets her whenever she's...
So he meets her as an adult.
Yeah.
But she's already known him since she was a child.
Yeah.
I hate time travel books so much. They're so confusing, it's terrible.
But, like, so, like, it's kind of icky, but, like, I guess it handles it as well as it can. But, yeah. It's good. I mean, it's not, like, so far, it's at, like, a 3-star for me.
Okay.
So... It's not amazing, but, like, it's not the worst thing in the world. But that's not why we're here. We're here because we both read Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Yeah.
And I picked this book for, like, to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But now that
what a terrible decision.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I had heard about this book right after we had gotten married. And I was like, I want to read this book. Like, it sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
But it was right after we were married, and I feel like that would have traumatized me. Because in the book, he dies right after they're married.
First chapter.
I think they're married for, like,
first
a week.
page.
Yeah.
8-9 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't do that. And so, I figured this way, I would force you to read it with me, so I'm not reading it alone.
Man.
It probably would have been best if we had just done, like, a cute little romance book.
Yeah.
But, you know, too late to change now.
It's fine to get kicked in the throat by my feelings. It's cool.
Feelings are good. They're healthy. Cry it out.
I don't want to.
So... what did you rate this book?
Like 3 stars.
3 stars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't tell you what genre this book is. Besides kick me in the throat. Yeah. Bad feelings.
Here, we can see what genres Goodreads labels it as. Goodreads says it's a romance, a contemporary, it's women's fiction. Yeah. Drama. I mean, I would consider this a romance.
Sort of.
Like, I mean, it doesn't have, like, the happy ending, but it's still...
Doesn't have a happy ending. Sure doesn't have a happy start.
But it's still, like, it's their love story.
Yeah. No, like, I understand that. I guess when I think of romance...
You think of, like, the Bromance Book Club?
No. Not even, like, romance. I would call that a romance. But, like, when I think of a romance book, when you say the word romance and, like, genres, meet cute. Awkward dating, legitimate dating, breakup,
get back together.
the word.
The big gesture.
Yeah, the gesture. Get back together, happily ever after. That's what I think of a romance. This book is kick you in the throat, happy kick you in the throat, happy kick you in the throat, happy kick, because it keeps flashing back to when they were together and he wasn't dead, and it's just because whenever it would start a chapter where he was dead, I was like, great, now I have to be sad again. And then it would start a chapter where they were together, and I'm like, this is so sweet, and it's kicked me in the throat. It's just. So I don't know. I guess, yeah, it's romance, but I don't know. It just didn't feel sweet. It didn't have a happy ending, and it was super sad. And so yeah, those are my thoughts. What did you rate this book?
I gave this book 4 stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard for me to figure out what I wanted to rate it because it did make me so sad.
Yeah.
But just because it made me sad doesn't mean it's a bad book.
I agree, yeah.
So I was really trying to because initially I'm like, ugh, that made me sad. Terrible.
Yeah.
So I was having to figure out, okay, was this a 5-star book? Is that where a husband died? A 5-star, 4-star, 3-star? So I just went with 4-star.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really well written, and I liked that it went back and forth, and it wasn't just constant in her grief.
Yeah, that would have been tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like how it was set up and how we knew from the beginning what happened, so it wasn't us going through happy and building up this relationship that we see with them,
and then he dies of cancer or something,
and then it in the middle, just
yeah.
chops it off to where he's dead.
Oh, that would have been way worse. I would have been way more angry if that was the case.
Yeah. So, So, I guess the next question is, how many times did you cry?
0.
0?
Yeah, 0. Not that I didn't want to cry. Okay. I'm perfectly fine with crying. I have come to terms with my manly emotions, and I am perfectly fine to cry. I don't intentionally try to hide them. Mm-hmm. But I'm a plumber, and I was plumbing with somebody. It was my second day. And I was listening to this book on and off throughout the day, in between getting told that I brought him the wrong piece or tool. And I didn't want to cry. So I chose that day not to cry. If I had read this on my own, I probably would have cried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, within so as soon as I turned the book on.
Yeah.
And obviously this is gonna have spoilers in it, but from the moment he leaves the house and comes back and he's like, I love you, because he's going to get the fruity pebbles or whatever. As soon as that happened till I guess the next chapter, whenever it moves on to when they meet for the first time, I was just bawling.
Oh.
Because
did you know he was gonna die?
I knew he was gonna die before I got into the book.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but did you know that him leaving to get the fruity pebbles was going to end him dying right then?
No, but I had a feeling.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was gonna die by getting run over while he was on his way back with fruity pebbles.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but I had a feeling with how they were setting it up. I was okay, this could be it.
Yeah, I feel that. I
think I really kind of realized that he was dead whenever she started to be oh, what's taking him so long?
Yeah.
I miss him already. What's taking him so long? Because I go through those thoughts being where is he? And then I start going through that he's dead. And so
no.
I knew that she started going through that, and I was like, oh, he's a goner.
I guess I'm gonna start calling you more often.
Every
so sorry.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm still alive.
Don't worry.
No. But a lot, even though obviously we're both happily alive, a lot of the time in this book, I just related to what she was feeling, even though I haven't had to go through the grief of the thing.
Yeah.
I could just picture me. And even though... What are you doing? like, even though, like, I've met your mom and all this stuff, and we didn't elope and stuff, like, just, like, having this, like, relationship, this strenuous, like, uncomfortable relationship, like, I could picture all of that. Yeah. And so, like, I was crying then, and then I was fine until the funeral. And then all throughout the funeral, I cried.
Yeah.
And then I was fine again. I surprised myself in the fact that I didn't cry as much as I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah.
I was actually nervous. I was legitimately nervous for you to read this book because I thought I was going to come home and you would just be, like, laying on the couch sobbing. Like, you finished the book, like, 8 hours earlier and you were just sobbing on the couch at the idea of me dying.
No, you don't go away.
I'm not that special, apparently.
Yeah, no. But I did, like, it was, like, the beginning, the funeral, the wedding. Like, whenever they were doing, like, the wedding vows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the end. How it ends, whenever it ends, when he's still alive, and he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was such a kick to the nuts. And, like, it ends in a good spot where she's like, you know, sometimes life is going to kick you in the nuts. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. Sometimes
life is going to kick you in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's okay. And you can take as much time as you need to heal.
Mm-hmm.
But be there for other people, too. I can't remember how it ends exactly. But it was like, sort of like that. Like, she was so happy that she has gotten better to the point where she can now be there for somebody else who is also in pain.
Yeah.
And it ends, you're like, oh, that was such a good ending. And then it cuts across for like 4 seconds where the husband's like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. It was like a flashback. You're like, no, yes you are. Why you gotta do that? Yeah. It was so terrible. The author was like, nah, they're not crying right here. You know what?
I want them to be in pain when they end this book.
I want the last sentence to just make them cry for one last time.
But yeah, no. It wasn't as... I mean, it was still terrible. Like, even though I wasn't crying, I was still thinking about, like, just us in that situation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But, like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like, once I was reading it, I was like, oh, I don't know why I was, like, scared to read this. Maybe if I had read it as soon as we got married, I would have been more, like, terrified.
Yeah.
But...
How would you rate this in comparison to other romances you have read?
Oh, I don't think you can compare this romance.
What is...
Because, like, so much... Up?
Yeah. It's the same story. Not really the same story.
Well, I mean, she does die in the first 5 minutes.
She dies in the first 5 minutes.
And then the rest
and he
is
goes
his
on
grief.
this grief journey. And at the end, he's there for Russell. It's literally the same story. Okay, Up in comparison to this, which one's better?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I love Up.
Yeah. Up was the theme of our wedding.
Yeah.
It should definitely be Up. It beats this.
Yeah, but, like, this one, I don't, like, Up is still, like, even though it's, like, the same, like, premise, it doesn't go into the conversations about, like, grief and when you need to move on, how you have to move on, and stuff like that. And, like, it's still, like, a kid's movie. Like, the first 10 minutes are, like, sobbing, but, like, the rest of it, there's no really sad points.
Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of time has passed. I mean, a couple of years has passed between her death and his journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason he leaves is because they're fixing to take him to a nursing home.
That's true. Yeah. Anyways.
Have you ever had to deal with, like, actual grief? Like,
no.
No?
I mean, like, so I've lost both my grandfathers. I lost one of them at, like, 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't figured out emotions yet at all. So I had no emotions about that. And then I lost another one while I was in college. And I wasn't very... in hindsight, learning more about him as I grew older, I respect him a lot. He was an amazing man. I just didn't really know that because I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
So, no.
So you've never had any, like, really...
Yeah, no, I've never been crushed.
Okay. Then, I guess how you expect grief to go then. Because, like, I've experienced, like, grief.
Tell me about your grief first.
I'm not gonna...
Let's open our hearts up.
This is not therapy. But no, like, so most of this book is focusing on her grief. Yeah. And her moving on and trying to figure out when it's appropriate to move on and stuff like that. And obviously, everyone's grief is different.
Yeah.
And just because one person moves on within a couple months doesn't mean that everyone is able to move on in a couple months. But, so, like, I guess, how did you like the portrayal of
I thought it was good. I don't think that my grief, like, of what I know about myself, I don't think that that's how I would experience grief.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still, like obviously a very valid portrayal of grief. It's not that I don't think that would happen to anybody. Yeah, I think it did a good job too. It did a pretty good job of, like, the stages.
Mm-hmm.
You know, denial and anger and punching dudes in the faces. And that was such a great scene. I'm so glad. Yeah. That was so good. I appreciated it a lot. If I was to guess at my own grief stages,
like, how would you grieve if I died? Like,
if you died,
would it be like this?
No, not necessarily. I don't think so. I don't think denial would last very long at all. I also think that I would recover very quickly as a coping mechanism and not actually recover for the next 20 years. No, seriously, I think
then you're not recovered.
I think I would. Yeah, I know, but, like, outwardly, I would recover to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just try to almost put it out of my brain. Not put you out of my brain, but put the loss out of my brain.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I would go through a stage of anger pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not sure besides that. Like, I would definitely get into a physical fight with somebody over nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly can't imagine losing you. Just don't.
Okay.
Don't leave the house. Stay here.
I mean, I haven't left the house in, like, 6 months.
Yeah. Good. Don't die.
But no, I thought this portrayal of grief was very, I don't know. I felt like it was very accurate of, like, my own. Like, whenever she, like, wrapped up the pillow in the garbage bag.
Instantly. It was, like
to
minutes.
Preserve the smell.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And then, like, leaving the rotten food because they had bought it. Like, yeah. So, like, and then, like, how she interacted with other people, especially, like, her friend, what was her friend's name? Anna?
But Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever that one scene where Anna has this new boyfriend and they get into a fight about, like, her moving on or, like, finally happy that she isn't happy, blah, 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 blah.
Or Anna being happy
that Elsie isn't happy.
No, Anna wasn't happy that Elsie wasn't.
No, like, that's how Elsie thought that's what Elsie thought.
Or Anna was happy despite the fact that Elsie wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, just the pushing people away and stuff like that. I appreciated that. And I thought the relationship between the mother and Elsie, like, I liked that a lot. Yeah. Like, just how it was, like, at first, it was like there wasn't going to be a relationship. You didn't think there was going to be.
Yeah.
But because they are connected to this one person and now they have no one except for each other, they
latch on to
able to be there for each other. And not in, like, an unhealthy way of just, like, wallowing all the time, but, like, the mother-in-law was able to actually help Elsie move on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, like, move on while still feeling like she's not forgetting him. Because, like, I feel like that would be something I would have a hard time with. Is the moving on and, like, what's moving on and what's forgetting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I thought that was very well done. And also, just, like, their relationship in the, like, before he died. Like, their relationship was very, very cute.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was
like
adorable.
How they were like moving just so fast, and they're like they put like the 5-week time limit on themselves and stuff like that. Like, I just thought that was cute.
It was cute. And then on the last day, oh wait, no, that's a spoiler. Never mind. That's not when he dies, but
you can have spoilers.
But like the last day before the 5 weeks is up, he tells her that he loves her.
Oh yeah.
On accident, because he had told himself that he was. They had told each other that they weren't going to even talk about their relationship for 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And on the last day, he messes up and he says, "I love you." Yeah. Super sweet. Reminds me of you. Very early in our relationship.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't an accident. She intentionally told me that she loved me.
No, it was an accident.
I don't know. I still think you were manipulating me.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm joking. But yeah.
But no, I thought like it's hard to like think this book is just like adorable and cute.
Yeah. Because
it is intermittent with like, oh, he's dead now. And but like just their relationship as like if he hadn't have died in this story, like their relationship as a whole, like that's like the perfect like super cute romance book in and of itself. So like I guess the grief made it interesting and unique.
Yeah, that's something a lot of romances have at all.
No.
Definitely.
I was very thankful that she wasn't pregnant.
Oh yeah, that would have been. I was surprised that she wanted to be pregnant with his baby so bad.
Oh, I mean, I can see that.
Really?
Like, I don't want kids, but like if you died, I would immediately have like wished I was pregnant or at least had a kid because then like there's part of you here, you know?
Yeah.
So like I can understand why she wanted to be pregnant, but I'm glad that Taylor Jenkins Reid didn't go that route. Because like that's just kind of like a okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That would just seem like kind of cheap in a sense of just like using this baby to like latch onto your grief and stuff like that.
Valid. Yeah.
So like I'm okay with like those scenes being in there, but I'm glad that she, even though it was sad for her, I was glad she wasn't pregnant in the end.
Yeah.
So that way she could, because otherwise the story would have taken like a whole different route, and I could see like her naming the baby, it being a boy, and naming the baby after him and stuff like that.
Man. I don't know. Like, I'm also glad that she wasn't pregnant. And I understand the wanting someone to be part of, like, wanting part of him to live on, like, would actually live on. But I don't think that would be the best time to have a child.
Oh, yeah, no. It would be very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But, like, it's one of those things where, like, you just want anything to be there. Yeah.
Remember him. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah. Makes sense.
Anything else about this book?
I don't think so. Final thoughts? Favorite scene?
Favorite scene?
Favorite scene.
When he dies.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just kidding. No, my favorite scene is probably the scene it goes, I think it's divided in between 2 chapters, but it's whenever he writes the I love you in soap. So he writes it, and the mom talks about it at the funeral, how he wrote it on the guest bathroom mirror, and she's kept it. And then, like, after the 5 weeks is up, he writes it on her mirror, and then, like...
There were a couple of parallels like that.
Yeah.
Like,
sweet. I just thought that was so sweet, and just, like, I don't know, it helped us see, like, who he was, and like also just like it was able to tie the 2 surviving characters together in a unique way, and it also is just a really like cute hallmarky moment whenever your boyfriend writes I love you in soap on the mirror. So
if I wrote I love you in soap on the mirror, would you automatically think of me dying?
Probably.
Would you leave it up?
Probably.
Just in case I die?
Yeah.
For how long?
I don't know. Probably until you got rid of it.
Okay. I'll write it really small then.
What was your favorite scene?
Their very first date, where she locks herself out of her apartment, and then he climbs up to the second-story balcony, only to discover that her plan on getting inside was to crawl through the tiny doggy door.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Do they end up calling Anna for the key, or...
No. He gets through.
He gets the doggy door, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go to, like, a fast food Mexican joint or something?
No, it's like, I think it was like a food truck. That's what I pictured.
Taco truck. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounded super cute.
Yeah.
It sounded super fun. But just, that was funny. Because, like, she had climbed halfway up when he showed up. He was like, hey, what you doing? Super funny. I don't know. I laughed out loud.
What was your least favorite scene?
All of the parts where he was dead. And all the parts where the chapter started and he was dead. Just those parts. It felt so, like, because you would get, like, this happy high of them being together, them being super cute.
Yeah.
Steve? Tyler.
No, it's Ben.
Author's name.
Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Steven Tyler. Taylor?
Yeah, it's right there.
Taylor Jenkins Reid did a very good job of writing them as a couple when he was alive, which just hurt all the more when it switched across to him being dead, because I was like, I'm going to have to sit here for another 20 minutes of him being dead, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
It just hurt me. So, what about you?
Obviously I could go into all the parts that, like, made me cry.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like that's, like, a cheap answer.
Also, those aren't necessarily the worst.
No. Like, just... and, like, I mean, I guess... So, I would say my least favorite scene is whenever they're going to Las Vegas to get married. And they stop at that fast food place. And they have that fight because he wants to call his mom and tell her, hey, I'm getting married. And she, like, freaks out and is like, no, if we don't get married right now, you're never going to marry me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was sort of gross.
Yeah, I didn't like that because I can understand her thought process of, like, we were planning on doing this thing and now you're backing out now, like, what the heck? Like, I can understand her side, but, like, she didn't handle it very well.
Yeah.
And, like, the fact where she was, like, she spelled all this out basically saying, if you don't marry me now, like, I want to marry you and I want someone who wants to marry me on the spot, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you're right. And she's like, oh, but we don't have to get married. Yeah. Like.
It was manipulation.
Yeah. It was just. It wasn't cute on her part.
Yeah, no.
Especially because, like, what. Now he wants to get married to you, but then she's sitting there thinking, does he actually want to get married to me? Or is it just because I said something? And you shouldn't get married wondering that.
In an eloping environment in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a part where, so while they were in Las Vegas, he, like an immature adult, has not memorized his social security number. And they don't have a marriage license. So they have to go get one, and he guesses on his social security number. In the lead up to that scene where we figure out that they're not actually married because of the social security mess up, I mean,
No, that happens after.
Yeah, I know. But, like, the lead up to, I thought that the way that storyline was going to work out, where she's waiting on the
marriage
license to get in the mail for, like, the entire book. And then I learned that they had that fight. I thought that he was going to have intentionally messed up his social security number so that the marriage wasn't real. And, like, he had just, like, this little freak out moment. And maybe they resolve it later where he had gone back and fixed it or something. But, like, I thought that was going to be, like, a little... The breakup of the romance, right? Where they had this fight and they break up and then they get back together and make it better, you know. But that wasn't it.
So. No. He was just forgetful.
I know my social security number by heart. Do you know yours?
Yeah, tell him it. What was your actual least favorite scene?
Man. I don't know.
mean, you can't just be all the sad parts. You didn't enjoy the sad parts, and that's fine.
I actually don't know. It was just a lot of sad parts.
Okay.
Hurt me.
So, this may be the same for you, but the whole time, I was just replacing Elsie with Lakin.
Yeah.
And Ben with Walter.
Yeah.
The whole time.
That was sort of the same with me, except I was trying to switch me with Elsie and you with Ben. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of hard to think about me being dead.
And what I would do afterwards. Yeah.
Like, it's hard, and like, I don't actually know what you would do fully. I know generally, sort of, what you, but like, I don't know like how you would actually react.
Yeah.
You know. Also emotionally, that would be difficult to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the same for me. Okay. Like, I was thinking, what would happen if you died?
Good. I just want to be sure that we're emotionally scarred together by this book.
Yeah.
And that way we're trauma bonded.
What would you do if I died tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
First thing you would do.
Well, obviously I wouldn't post this.
Yeah, you would not finish editing this.
No. And I would probably just stay in bed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you call anybody?
Well, I mean, probably call my mom.
Yeah, okay.
Be like, hey, come handle this. Just stay in bed. I know I wouldn't go to your funeral.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's awkward.
But I wouldn't go to anyone's funeral.
It'll be a good party.
Okay.
They make animatronic little things that can move your body when you're dead.
Yikes, Walter, no.
I just want my hand waving back and forth in the casket.
It's not funny.
But it's weird because, like, with the stiffening, what's it called?
Rigor mortis?
With the rigor mortis, they have to chop your arm off at the elbow and just attach it to this machine. That's an elbow joint, because otherwise your arm is too stiff. So they just chop your arm off, and then it waves it. Chopped off arm back and forth inside your sleeve. I made that up. I just made that off of a spot. I don't actually know. I mean, I would assume that the rigor mortis is actually too. So, like, if I was to invent this machine, I would need to cut off arms, but it's whatever.
Yeah. What about me?
What about you?
If I died.
If you died, Jesus.
Don't mess with this.
I would take a couple weeks off of work. Mm-hmm. Not eat anything. Well, I would just eat whatever was in the house. I wouldn't go shopping. Uh-huh. I probably wouldn't leave for those couple weeks. Maybe after, like, 2 weeks. I don't know. Like, I would want to be back in Texas for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But that would mean I would be gone longer than a couple weeks. What about all the animals? I know. That's what I'm thinking about. I just have to drop them off at your parents' house. I'll just tell them to deal with it. Because I'm a grieving husband. No. Maybe even a full month off. We'd not have to spend our savings and stuff. Mm. But still. I would probably need more than that to actually, like, get anywhere.
You better be sad for forever.
I will be sad for forever.
No, I'm just
During
kidding.
That month,
I wouldn't want that.
I'm gonna, find an ex or something. I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, I mean, I would want you to, like, move on.
Yeah. I just, like...
Maybe not, like, right away. Maybe, like, a year or two.
No, but, like, I'm hesitant that if I do move on quickly as a form of self-protection... Mm-hmm. Preservation, that I would move on into another marriage when I'm not actually... Like, obviously I don't want to, like, forget you. I'm always going to love you, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, move into another marriage prematurely and another attempt to help myself feel better about the situation, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck with somebody I don't want to be with, or... Yeah, so...
Well, now we're not talking about the book.
So...
Now we're just getting sad about our own selves dying. But we're not dead. Yet.
Or dying.
I mean, we are dying. But we're not, like, dying to where we're gonna die tomorrow. I mean, we could die tomorrow.
Hey, Shut up.
We could. But
this has been 2 peas in a pod.
It's 2 peas in a book.
Dang it. 2 peas in a book club.
But yeah, so we're no longer talking about the book. Any final thoughts? Or have you said anything?
I've said all my stuff.
Yeah? Are you... Hold on. Are you glad that we read this book? Or would you rather us have done a cutesy romance?
Cutesy romance.
Yeah?
100%. I don't want to go with this.
I'm glad I read this book.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because I feel like if you were to die, I would read this book again.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah. But, like, it would, like, I would, because, like, I would want to read a book where I know someone isn't happy. Because, like, I know if I read a book where someone's happy, that would...
Yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be worse?
Yeah.
Huh.
So, like, just knowing that some character... I mean, it's a little twisted, but, like, knowing that someone else is in the same pain that I was in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, this way I can just store it in the back for whenever we're 80. Because that's when it will happen.
Yeah, of course.
And then it will be good.
Okay.
We'll be like the couple in the book.
Yeah.
Where
that was super sad.
He went to, like, the library every day. He was adorable.
So sweet.
Even though we never met her, I'm sure she was adorable too. So, yeah. Okay. Those are all the thoughts.
All the thoughts.
Okay. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. The next one, the next book we're reading and discussing is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. And that is your birthday pick.
Yeah, beans. I've been meaning to read this book for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I just never did. I'm excited to, though.
Yeah. Me too. So, hopefully it's good. Everyone loves V.E. Schwab. And she seems really cool. Schwab. I don't know. But, yeah. I'm excited to read that. And hopefully it's good. Hopefully there's no dying spouses in it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this isn't jumbled. I'm very proud of us for neither of us crying while talking about death. But, yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a great morning or evening whenever you're watching this. And if you've read this book, let us know what you thought of it. And if you haven't, well, now you know our thoughts. Yeah. So you can pick it up if you want. But
are you looking for emotional trauma? Read this book. It'll kick you in the throat. It was good, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll see you in the next video or whenever we discuss Darker Shade of Magic.
On the flippity flop.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. You okay?
My nose, man. I can't breathe. I have to pause to breathe. It's like... I've been a mouth breather for like the last 3 days. Everyone at work is making fun of me for it. Today I was laying underneath a house next to a guy. And I was just like... He was like, dude, we haven't moved in 20 minutes. Why are you out of breath? I'm sorry. The dust.
But no. Okay.